I is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatem, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Da is for Deen, al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and rise for the month of Ramadan.
Wakfu! Embracing Wakfu program for oneself or on behalf of the parent is Sadaqah to Jariyah that we afford the dua Jannah bi-iznillah. Key into Wakfu program by bequeathing part of your estate, landed properties and other assets for the sake of Allah. Proceeds or rental fee from this asset shall be judiciously utilized by the tested and trusted Z&S Wakfu Foundation to bring succor to the needy and provision of social amenities and economic empowerment. You can also make a donation of a minimum of 10,000 naira that Z&S Wakfu Foundation will collate to procure assets that are economically viable. No doubt, Wakfu is highly rewarding. Contact Z&S Wakfu Foundation, Suite 12, Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos. Call 080-3538-2911. With Wakfu, your asset will earn you Jannah. Be easy in life. Be a partaker.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
أعوذ بالله سميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We sincerely thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We beseech His blessings upon the noblest creature, Muhammad. Allah shower His blessings upon him, his household, and those who rightly follow him till the day of judgment. Once again, we say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we are still on goodness to orphans and widows. We have actually introduced us to the broad topic, and we have discussed how best we can handle the wealth and property of the orphans, and at the puberty age, the age of sanity, the age of marriage, how best we can hand over their wealth and property unto them. Today, inshallah, we want to consider in case of any misappropriation of what greatness is the sin of misappropriating the wealth of orphan, or mismanaging the wealth of orphan. Quran chapter 4 verse 10 informs that إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. That verily those who unjustly eat up the properties of orphans, such people are only eating up fire into their bellies, and they will soon enter a blazing fire called Sa'ir. May you not be one of those who will be a Muslim on heart, perform salat, pay zakat, go on Hajj, probably fast the month of Ramadan, do other good things, kindness to this and that, has some meritorious ibadah, nawafilul ibadah that can earn him al-Jannah, but at last he will end up in hellfire, just as a result of mishandling, misappropriating, embezzling the wealth and property of orphan, the helpless, the weak, one of the weak ones in the society, that if actually you are able to take proper care of him, you will be registered among those whose name will be written in with golden ink, and then will be shining, you'll be glittering in his history. Whenever he's reading his success story, you'll be counting on your activities. So Quran is warning us that those who are eating up the wealth of orphans, they are only eating up a blazing fire called sa'ir into their bellies. Tafsir makes us understand that two righteous friends are on a journey and they were going. As they were going, they feel hungry. They needed food. They needed provision. So they were to prepare what they will eat with fire on their road. While resting for this lunch, they were looking for what can they use to ignite fire and then probably prepare their food they couldn't get. Then the other one who used to admonish his partner, his colleague, that he should take proper care of the orphan in his care, which he had been turning heedless responses, and he has not been doing goodly to him. Then he says we need not to look for something we ignite fire with it. We need not looking for two stones, strike it and then spark fire and then cook our food. We can get the fire from closer and here. Then he took, the man took some firewood and just touched the cloth of the man, according to the story. Then it got ignited and then they cook their food. Then the other one was surprised why this had happened. Is it a magic or a karama, being a righteous person? Then he says no, it's only a reflection on the verse of Holy Quran that says, in Al-Ladin, those who unjustly eat up the property of orphans, such people are only eating up fire into their bellies, and they will soon enter a blazing fire called Sa'ir in the day of judgment. So that the fire is in them. They are eating it into their belly. So if the fire is there in the belly, then it is Allah is only giving them some respect that when the time comes, it will get ignited and then be burnt in hellfire. May we not be one of those who will enter fire because he has malhandled the orphans. And if we look in history, those who had done that, we've discovered that people like Abu Lahab, who had handled Holy Prophet ﷺ with high-handedness, who had acted and they are wicked in the treatment of this orphan. They were actually punished. Abu Jahl, that also maltreated of Holy Prophet ﷺ, that Allah talks about him in Quran 107 of the Holy Quran, Surah Ma'un, verses 1 and 2, where Allah SWT says, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمَ. Don't you see him who belied the day of judgment, the day of accountability, the day of reckoning? Who is he? Is he who maltreats the orphan? And the Mufassirun said the cause of revelation of these two verses of this chapter 107 Surah Ma'un is this Abu Jahl, an uncle to Holy Prophet ﷺ, who was supposed to take proper care of him when the father was no more. But instead of doing that, he presented himself as the most notorious enemy, Ashadul Adu, the most notorious enemy of Holy Prophet ﷺ, and accordingly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished him too. His life was wasted at Battle of Badr. The news of his death reached Abu Lahab also, and Abu Lahab had his own liver. He had his own liver broken, and blood started gushing out because of the sudden news of the defeat that actually occurred to these great heroes of Quraysh in their past history. they were great heroes in terms of battlefield experiences. Nobody used to win them. Nobody used to conquer them. But at that point, a defeat that remained remarkable in history occurred to them. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to him and his wife, who also maltreated Holy Prophet in Quran 111. The whole verses there from 1 to the end was purposely revealed for them because they maltreated Holy Prophet, an orphan that is close by to them. Allah says, Tabbat yada abi lahabin watab. Allah even mentioned his name there, that Abu Lahabi is doomed to perish, to destroy. Watab, even all his wealth will perish. Ma agna anhu maluhu wa ma kasab, his wealth shall not profit him, neither in this world and in the day of judgment, nor all that he has gained can profit him. The position, the dignity, the prestige, all that he has cannot profit him. Sayasla naran that alhab, he shall enter a blazing fire. After suffering a humiliating punishment on earth, you also enter a blazing fire in the day of judgment. Wamra'atuhu hammalat al-hatab, and such this thing, punishment will the same punishment is also awaiting the wife, Jamil, who used to carry firewood, turning firewood on the ways of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fi jidiha hablun min masad. He shall also have around her neck, instead of having ornaments like gold, like silver, that will be something like artificial beauty for him, for her in the day of judgment. She shall have her own as thorn, the thorn of ornaments, gold necklace of thorns will be constructed and put on her neck, as she used to put those things on the way for Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So from this we could understand that anybody who misappropriates the wealth of orphans on earth shall not go scot-free. And in the day of judgment, even if he had happened to be a devoted Muslim, he shall not go scot-free. He will be punished. Taste blazing fire. If at all, he will have to enter Al-Jannah. He will first of all suffer for the damage he has actually caused to the life of an orphan who happened to be in his care. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us one of those who will take proper care of orphans around us, those who happens to be from our family and those who happens to be from other people's family, but they are in our care. And that is why Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation, we take it upon ourselves, making sure that we do all we could to ensure that we take proper care of some orphans in Nigeria with the help of our subscribers, our donors, our well-wishers, those who are actually contributing to the purse of the organization. We say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Every time you feel
he wants to make Nigeria economy better. She hates injustice and wants to stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. He believes Nigeria refineries can work. He wants to make that change. It takes true character to make a better public service. She wants to make a public servant. But it is not enough to dream. We need to turn dreams into reality, and Startwell Schools is the place to start.
One of the missions of Startwell School is to provide qualitative education with a pristine Islamic teaching that meets this ever-dynamic world. And to the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can beat our chest over it that we have produced those who have these qualities.
إنه أجر حسنا when somebody finishes in this school, he's an ambassador of Islam. We will have practiced Islam within us. So by the time he gets out, he's used to the way of life. So we just want Muslims that will represent us Islamically in the global world.
Enroll your child today at Startwell Schools, located at 15/19 Karim Street, Agbede Meeting, Asala Bus Stop, Agric, Ikorodu, Lagos. For more information, please call Startwell Schools. Aspire, acquire, achieve.
Startwell School is the best among equal.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation is a non-profit charitable organization determined to help the rich enrich the poor as well as care and touch people's lives. As part of its mission to lend a helping hand to lift those with restricted means out of poverty, the team visited Abule Egba area of Lagos State to distribute valuable items and materials to residents.
Wá ní náà kankan àti kó lọ́ọ́ máa mọ̀ pa nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ náà yẹn ṣé nǹkan tó dáa ni. Òun ló fi jẹ́ pé iṣẹ́ méjì ló jẹ́ fún wa ní àjọ Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni pé ká gba nǹkan lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn àkọ́kọ́ nìyẹn. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì òun ni pé tíṣẹ́ yẹn fi di méjì a tún máa ṣègbìyànjú a máa yà á sọ́tọ̀ àwọn nǹkan eléyìí kò dáa rárá. A máa dá padà àfi ká lọ dànù. Ó lè jẹ́ níṣojú ẹni tó gbé nǹkan yẹn wá tó bá ṣe gbé wá báyìí à ní kó ní sùúrù à yẹ̀ wò bàbá yẹ̀ wò bàbá ṣe lè kó dáa pé ìyẹn ṣì lè lò ìyẹn la máa ṣe kí ni o la máa gbà wọlé àwa náà tún á tún ṣe ẹ̀rí bóyá afẹ́ fọ́ ni o afẹ́ lọ ni o ó lè jẹ́ ojú lọ́dọ̀ ẹni tá a fẹ́ ṣe kí ni o tá a fẹ́ fún ẹ̀rí. Eléyìí ẹ̀kọ́ yìí ó ti àwọn ẹlòmíì ti bá sábà débi pé tó bá fẹ́ mú nǹkan míì wá ń gbà míì ajé tó bá jẹ́ pé bí aṣọ ni wọ́n á ti fẹ́ clean ẹ̀. Ẹlòmíì tó bá yẹ pé bàtà ni á ti tún ṣe. Ẹlòmíì tó bá yẹ pé àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí kò tíì tún wọ́n ṣe á mú owó kalẹ̀ pé ẹ bá ń fi tú àwọn nǹkan yìí ṣe. Ẹ̀rí eléyìí ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ nǹkan tí ó ṣe kí ni o tó dáa tó sì ṣe é lò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn kan wọ̀nyí wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ nǹkan halal nǹkan tí kò ń ṣe haram tí ṣe nǹkan tí ò da téèyàn ò lè lò tí kò mọ́ àwọn kan wọ̀nyí nínú àwọn májẹ̀mú tó de àwọn kan tá a bá kò ní pákúlà fún nìyẹn.
Items which includes shoes, backpacks, clothes, kitchen utensils, amongst others, were available for the people to choose from. According to officials, these materials were donated to the foundation for Infaq.
A ní orí ọ̀fẹ́ àti fún àwọn bọ́dà wa àlùjẹ́ ìṣòwò àlè ní àwọn ọ̀dọ́ kí ọlọ́pàá wà lọ́dà sí.
Ní orúkọ àjọ Zakat and Sadaqah àti àsìkò yìí pèsèntì àwọn wa ní ìwọ̀nba kékeré kí ọlọ́ọ̀gá fún àlùbáríkà sí. Ó lè ṣe ní ọ̀rọ̀ fún àwọn láti máa dá sí àjọ Zakat and Sadaqah.
Ní orúkọ iléeṣẹ́ Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation àfún ọ̀pá wa Harun Abdullah ní àwọn ọlọ́pàá àgbàkà sí.
Beneficiaries expressed their excitement and gratitude to Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation.
Ètò tó dáa ni tó bá lè máa lọ káàkiri gbogbo Nàìjíríà báyìí ó máa wà òkè gan bá dáa mi dùn púpọ̀ gan-an torí ohun tọ́lọ́run àtànábì ẹ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ni tọ́lọ́run àtànábì dẹ̀ yọ́nú sí so ohun tó bá wá láti Zaka and foundation so ọlọ́run máa ń fi báríkà tó pọ̀ sí i to try láti máa yẹn láti àwọn olówó inú wa tó jẹ́ muslim láti lè gbèrú àwọn ètò ìsúnwọ̀n wájú káwọn náà lè mọ pàtàkì ètò yìí so láti lè jẹ́ káwọn náà mọ̀ pé ó dáa kéèyàn yọnu ohun tọ́lọ́run bá fún yàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí Zaka.
ètò tó dáa ni tó dára tó wúyàn tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ ẹ̀sìn Islam tó fi wúyàn pé kéèyàn ṣe Islam ni n tó jẹ́ kókó a sì dúpẹ́ fún àwọn tó ṣe ètò rẹ̀ pé wọ́n á bá ń bi tó lérè ibi tán fi sàn ọlọ́run àjò gbàbẹ̀ lọ ọlọ́run bò ní sọmọ́ sí hòhò bí ẹ̀kọ́ o ábà sílé kálukú wọn nínú èrè wọn àti máa náwó wọn dẹ̀ níjẹ̀bi ọ̀nà dáadáa mọ́ kálukú wọn sí o. alhamdulillah adúpẹ́ fún ọlọ́run lóòótọ́ àárín òhò débí àbí wọ́n dẹ̀ tún dáṣọrú wa máa ṣe dáṣọrú àná ọ̀nà ò dáṣọrú àwọn náà á gèrè ọmọ wọn á dẹ̀ bá ń bi olérè inú èrè wọn àti máa náwó wọn níjẹ̀bi ọ̀nà adúpẹ́ fọlọ́run gan ni. wọ́n tíráyè gan o torí ọ̀gá ni wọ́n irú tán ṣe yí ẹlòmíì ò lè ṣe torí ẹlòmíì wọn ní àmọ́ náà gbogbo nǹkan bá bí wọ́n bá kó fún ẹlòmíì pàápàá wọ́n á ní àwọn lẹ́bí àwọn dẹ̀ lára nínú fámìlì wọn wọ́n á lọ pín sí àmọ́ adúpẹ́ tí wọ́n pín fún ẹbí ara ẹni tán mọ̀ ẹni tí wọn ò mọ̀ ni wọ́n pín nǹkan yìí fún adúpẹ́ fọlọ́. gba tí ó lówó tí ò ṣe kankan náà oríṣi méjì ní nǹkan ẹni tó ní tó ṣe ọlọ́run á fún lẹ́san rẹ̀ ẹni tí ò dẹ̀ ní náà tí ò ṣe ọlọ́run á fún lẹ́san ẹni tó dẹ̀ tún ní tí ò fẹ́ ṣe náà ó kó o kọ ọlọ́run ọba mi.
ó dáa ọlọ́run jẹ́ káwa náà lóbi káwa náà lè máa ṣe ní ìwé dùnmọ̀ wà á pẹ̀lú kàtà fún wọn kọ́lọ́n kó ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́n kó wá jẹ́ kí wàá láwọn ajá sásán lẹ́sìn Islam kọ́lọ́n kẹ́sì Islam kó tó gbòòrò sí i látànábì wọn mọ̀ kọ́lọ́n kó wá wọnú wọn ó jẹ́ kán rántí àwọn ẹ̀mẹ̀kúnnù kán lè ṣe wá láàánú.
According to the organizers, Zakat is a compulsory act, which is why they had gathered these items from those willing to give.
This event is one of the windows with which Zakat and Zakat Foundation operates. It is called infaqulafu, meaning that spending out of what you have in excess, good things that you have, apart from money. We all know the sadaqah being paid by money, Zakat being paid by our money or our wealth. But when I talk about infaqulafu, is doing sadaqah with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in terms of what you use. Very like talking about your clothing, cooking utensils, household materials, furniture, even our electronics at home. All these things, if we have it in excess and they are still in good condition, we use it to give it out as sadaqah so that we can earn reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you can see, it's quite different from even paying our sadaqah with our money and wealth. One of these effects we can say is out of seeing our brethren lacking in all these items and they are in need of it. They are in need of clothes, they are in need of furniture, they are in need of cooking utensils and the likes. So that is what actually prompted. And even if we look at the lifetime of our early Muslim, our Salaf, they give out these kind of things, not only money. And even it was displayed during the time of the Prophet ﷺ when the Prophet established brotherhood between the Muhajirun and Ansar. They give out what they need. They divide their property into two, or according to their own measure, to give out to their brothers that has migrated from Mecca to Medina, entering Medina without anything. So they share their things with them. So these are what prompted in terms of what we observe during our own present time and what has occurred during the time of the early Muslims. It will create a great impact in the society because you have put smile in the faces of your brothers and sisters in faith. Definitely they will throw it back to the society by engaging with others with the spirit of brotherhood, love and caring, and it reduces the exhibition of what we call this so-called poverty that will manifest in the face of the brothers in Islam. So
it will create a kind of harmonious society in our midst when we engage in this kind of thing. Everybody will not lack what other social status are enjoying. So, in a nutshell, it brings out peace and harmony in the society.
Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation is committed to continuously help the needy without religious sentiment or discrimination.
Again, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Wakfu! Embracing Wakfu program for oneself or on behalf of the parent is Sadaqah to Jariyah that we afford the dua Jannah bi-iznillah. Key into Wakfu program by bequeathing part of your estate, landed properties and other assets for the sake of Allah. Proceeds or rental fee from this asset shall be judiciously utilized by the tested and trusted Z&S Wakfu Foundation to bring succor to the needy and provision of social amenities and economic empowerment. You can also make a donation of a minimum of 10,000 naira that Z&S Wakfu Foundation will collect to procure assets that are economically viable. No doubt, Wakfu is highly rewarding. Contact Z&S Wakfu Foundation, Suite 12, Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos. Call 080-3538-2911. With Wakfu, your asset will end you Jannah. Be easy in life. Be a partaker.
Again, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.